Yeah, this is fucking nuts. Whatever, bro. It is what it is. This is Texas weather. I was warned about it prior to moving down here, and here I am down here, and I'm dealing with it. Some days it's amazing. Shit, dude. 2 days ago, I was outside in a t-shirt and 70 degrees in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's going to be 17 or 18 degrees and supposedly 3 inches of snow. Whatever.
Yep.
It's all good, man. Mr. James Emerson, welcome to the Step It Up Entrepreneur Podcast, sir.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I heard I'm popping your podcast cherry. Is that accurate?
First live, like in-person podcast. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Most of the other ones have been online. So.
Got it. Yeah, so this is face-to-face.
Yeah.
We got real microphones.
Yeah, man.
You know, not just the Zoom camera and all that bullshit. That's cool, man. Well, I appreciate you coming in here. Hell of a trip coming from Wisconsin down here to the beautiful state of Texas.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Tell me a bit about you, man. Like you and I, we've been having some interactions over what's called almost a year. I think it was June of last year. You and your wife, Savannah, joined Executives. So we're coming up on a year in June. So I don't know, what are we, 8 months, 7 months, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
You're a roofer, but I know there's a fuck of a lot more to you than just being a roofer. You're sharp as shit. I know that too, in a good way.
Yeah.
So let's unpack the age-old question of who is James Emerson?
All right. Well, I grew up in a small town of northern Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
I always had the entrepreneur mentality, spirit, whatever. But the biggest, I think, takeaway of growing up in northern Wisconsin and really small town was I grew up super poor.
Okay.
So poor we didn't have running water. But I knew that basically being from a small town and being poor, that it was all up from there, or it had to be. I mean, it couldn't get any lower, really. I couldn't go back to not having running water. I couldn't, all I could do was go up. So I started a couple businesses throughout, after high school and college. I actually owned a cell phone store when camera phones started being popular.
I remember those days.
Yeah, it was like the Motorola E300 came out, little flip phone, had a camera on it.
Motorola
awesome.
Razor.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did that for a little while, and I did some other MLM stuff, but you know how that always goes. But yeah, I got into construction after I had taken a welding job because I loved building stuff. I could always, work with my hands.
Mm-hmm.
But I did that for like 9 years. I just couldn't take breathing the smoke anymore.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't want to work inside. So I got into construction and worked for a company building custom homes. I was framing homes and, start to finish. And I decided one day that I wanted to start my own thing, and we ended up, I hired or I don't even know if you call it hiring. I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
I still don't, by the way.
But I hired a few guys, and, I registered a company name. I got some insurance, got some equipment, and we started subcontracting jobs from the guy that I was working for previously. So the work that I was already doing, but I was being paid hourly. I was now being a subcontractor.
Yeah, making a lot more money doing it too, I'm sure.
Yeah, but then I had all the other expenses and stuff, so I had to branch out. And my first sale, I guess, was calling other contractors around the state.
Did you realize you were making a sale at that point in time, or it was kind of just like
I had no idea.
Yeah,
I didn't even know what sales was in the business, until I actually hired a salesman. He was kind of a, part-timer, I guess. And one of my first experiences with sales was watching him go knock on a door and sell a job. It took him about 15 minutes. And the first thing I asked him when he came back, I was like, how much did I just pay you for that? I'm like, it was that easy? I'm like, teach me. Like, let me watch you.
Yep.
And he did, you know, and
Right.
so then we grew from there. Him and I had little contests going throughout the summer, you know, who could sell more.
Yep.
And, but we ended up going, you know, separate ways. And, you know, northern Wisconsin winters, roofing shuts down.
Yeah, you're not really working.
Yeah, no.
Put this into perspective real quick. You left today from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
What was the temperature when you left?
Oh, man. So I was driving to the airport. It was 18 below zero.
Yeah, that's like normal.
Yeah.
Because I think the other day you put up something that was dumb cold, like negative 34, negative 24.
Yeah, we get some really crazy weather in the wintertime. Like, you see those memes when online where the air, you know, hurts your face. That's legit. Like, I mean, and people work outside in that. I mean,
It's crazy.
yeah.
I've personally worked outside in some cold ass weather, but not that cold. Yeah.
I don't wish it upon anybody anymore. I mean, that's terrible. I mean, you go outside, your hands, you know, at least mine, I think I'm getting arthritis or something. My hands clench up, but
Yep.
Yeah, that's Wisconsin for you. So our roofing company actually kind of shut down in the first winter there, and I didn't know what I was going to do, you know. So I thought I did really well. Made almost $250,000 that year, and or had $250,000 revenue.
Right.
Didn't make it, but I had no idea what I was doing. So
Yeah.
I didn't budget really for the winter time, and it hit us hard, you know. So I was like, are we going to shut down? You know, should I just cash it in, go back to a job? And that was kind of the turning point. The next spring, I was kind of crossing my fingers for more work, and nothing was really happening. And stuff doesn't still to this day, you know, 9 years later, the season doesn't really pick up right at spring in Wisconsin. So I was kind of crossing my fingers for something to happen. And I had just met, you know, my now wife, Savannah. And we were actually celebrating her birthday, hanging out together. And out of nowhere, this hailstorm comes and hits this, you know, small town of 2,000 people. Nobody chased it. So we just cleaned house.
Just went over that town and just did them all.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, nobody knew who I was at the time. You know, I had a small business name, you know, didn't do marketing or anything, you know.
Sure.
Until I had this big bankroll now. We just did a ton of jobs and we started marketing, hitting it.
So let me ask you a question. You know, you've been in the trades now for years, and you start this business. Are you actively working in the field? Are you putting shingles on roofs at this point in time?
Yeah, I was putting shingles on for about a year and a half of the time. And by that, so even like half a year in, or half a season, I'd call it, half a summer, I knew that I was getting too busy to be nailing the shingles, you know, doing the work in the field. But I also knew that if I wasn't in the field, my guys weren't gonna work like when I was there.
Yep.
So it was a huge pain point. You know, either I'm there and we've got great production, or I'm not there and production falls off, and then I'm going broke because I'm paying guys, you know, to stand around.
So how'd you overcome that?
I gave everybody a job, or I took on a job, and I had a set amount, you know, because I bid the job, and I know what the job pays. I had my 4 guys do the job, they took way too long on it because I wasn't there, but it was a test. And I showed them when they turned in their times, I showed them what the job actually paid. And I said, here's your ultimatum. You either can work, 1099 and you can work piece rate.
Sure.
Or I'm done and I'm just going to subcontract the jobs to these other companies. And I had, out of the 4 guys, I had 1 guy that said he would work for piece rate because he came from piece rate.
Got it.
So I told him, I'm sorry, I can't do roofs with 1 guy unless you know some other people that want to come. It's not going to work.
Yep.
And so it was basically that day forward, I started subcontracting all of our jobs.
Got it.
And that's really when the business took off.
Got it. Because you're able to leverage other people's time and effort and energy.
100%.
Yeah. So do you have a process at this point to kind of, because listen, I'm sure at this point in time you've got, backtrack a second, you probably have your set list of subcontractors who you do business with.
Right.
You've got your go-tos, you got a backup just in case. But there has to be a point in time occasionally where you stop doing business with one goes out of business, you have a new subcontractor come in, or shit, you're getting so busy because you're selling so much that you need more subcontractors on board to go handle the fulfillment side of it.
Right.
So do you have a process, long-winded I know that was, do you have a process in place to ensure that the right subcontractor is coming onto the team?
Yeah. So we always, we do, I guess, reference checks. And I mean, we've had guys that fib, and you catch them. But a lot of the subcontractors work for other companies too. So if they're a reputable company and they say, they're working for company A, company A and B, well, we all kind of know each other. I'm going to call A and B and be like, hey man, do these guys really work for you? Do they do good work? Most guys are going to shoot you straight and be like, yeah, they're good workers.
Yep.
Cool. So that's step 1. And then step 2, we actually send all of our subcontractors, we send them to training for our manufacturers.
Oh, that's cool.
So they become certified to install the products that we sell.
Yeah, got it.
Which helps them out because they also install the same products for other contractors. So whether or not they're just doing our jobs or they're doing someone else's, they're certified now. So it goes hand in hand.
Yeah, that makes sense. We my last company, we did something similar. There's a product called Mobileye. Mobileye, it's built into most newer cars. It is a forward camera mounted in the windshield by the rearview mirror.
Yeah.
Your Dodge probably has it.
Yep.
And it's collision avoidance. So if something pops up in front of you or you're about to hit something, it's telling you to either slow down, get out of the way, hit the brakes, or it does it for you. Mobileye does that, but aftermarket.
Oh.
And there was this big whole push in New York City a while back, and it's still going good. Mobileye is a big company. They've been around for a while. To actually install these things aftermarket for insurance purposes, get discounts on insurance, so on and so forth. It's a pretty advanced install. So in order for us to actually go out there and start getting these bigger contracts to install Mobileye, I had to send my entire team down to Florida and get them schooled up and trained on Mobileye installs.
Yep.
So cool. We send my guys down there. It costs us like $1,000 to $1,500 a head, plus the travel, plus hotel and food and all that shit. And you're paying them while they're there as well. It is what it is. Fine. But what ended up happening is it opened up the doors of opportunity, right? So now not only are we getting Mobileye work from Mobileye, but we're also getting Mobileye work from everyone else who just found out that we're Mobileye certified.
Yep.
So everyone else in the area who was reselling Mobileye was like, oh shit, those guys over at Top Class, they're Mobileye certified now? Cool. Let's go give a couple projects to them. And as a win-win.
Yeah. Because then you're getting an influx of work, and then more than likely you probably had to hire more guys. So that's awesome.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we had something similar to that too. As soon as we brought on subcontractors, our work, our workload scheduling went way down. Like we weren't booked out anymore.
Yep.
Like when we were booked out a month, now we're booked out a week.
Because you have so much on the fulfillment side.
Shit, now what do we do?
Sell more.
Yeah, we need to sell more. Now,
Yeah.
how do we sell more?
Yeah.
We're only two guys. Like
Right.
we can only sell so much. Okay,
Right.
so let's hire some more sales reps. And
Okay.
it just kept growing from there. And it's like,
Yep.
and it's the same, first probably 4 years. It was the same roller coaster, up and down. Winters pretty much shut down. But then we started, after 4th to 5th year, we started looking at other locations. And now we're in 4 different states.
So at this point in time, since you're in other states, I'm assuming south of Wisconsin,
Yeah.
you're actually generating revenue all year round.
Yeah. It's nice to have, it's not the feast or famine style, the roller coaster in your bank account. Like, oh man, what are we going to do for the next 6 months? Well, it's more like, where are we going to go? Where do we want to expand to next? And we're continuing to expand. Like we just expanded into a new market in Wisconsin even.
Right.
But it's not going to be, a $30 million, area.
Sure. Yeah, but it's adding a revenue
It's
stream.
it's adding a stream.
Yeah.
And
You add enough of those and okay, cool.
right. And that's what a lot of people don't, realize. Like we built out of one office, we built in a county of 11,000 people. Like the county is the size of the state of Rhode Island. And there's only 11,000 people there. We built an office that was doing 2.8 million religiously.
Yeah.
Like every year when, there's no competition.
Right.
Everybody's chasing the big cities. And we're like, man,
Yep.
there's like opportunity everywhere you look. You just got to look in the woods.
And there's so much power in that lesson right there. Matt Monero has been one of those people who's just been influential to me. Matt got a podcast, written a couple books. He's here local in Dallas. He actually is from Rhode Island originally. Moved down here a bunch of years ago and started a company. And the company he owns is called Commercial Fleet Financing. He built his business picking up the breadcrumbs that the big banks leave behind. On all the little shit. And he's doing over $100 million a year.
Wow.
So he's got a massive company. And it's to the point where he actually fired himself as a CEO and brought in other people that run it. And he's just like, I'm, board of executives or whatever the fuck it is. But same deal. So he does commercial financing for fleet vehicles. He's got a very, very specific client that he looks for. His entire team knows it too. He's got a rule in place for it. And he literally is looking for that client that the bank will reject or not do business with.
Yeah.
Cool. The client has to fit these 3 pieces of criteria. And if they do, I want them. And they go in and they do whatever they have to do to get that deal.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool to watch it happen.
Yeah. And that's, so similar to what we're doing. Like we see where everybody's going. And then we go the opposite direction. Everybody's going to Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Got it. Well, say Minneapolis gets hit with hail every year.
Yeah.
But that same hailstorm, maybe it hit this small town in Wisconsin.
Yep.
Cool. That small town has 800 people in it. Nobody's looking at that. They're looking at the
There's
100,000.
more than enough work there. You're simply order taking at that point when you go into those neighborhoods.
Exactly. And people, like, as soon as small town people, they're all skeptical, especially of, quote unquote storm chasers.
Sure.
But that gives me the advantage because, I grew up in a small town. Right.
You know the language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm your people, and you're my people. Let's do business. So when we go into a small town, you basically, I'm giving away my secrets here, but you go to the people that know everybody, right? Somebody knows everybody.
Yep.
And everybody knows that person.
Yeah. You go to that person,
You find him,
build
or
the
her.
like and trust with them.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then it spreads like wildfire, and everybody's calling you. Everybody's chasing down your, trucks or cars or whatever you're using, and you almost can't sign the contracts fast enough.
Right.
And you know, you look at a population of 800. How much work can you get out of there?
Yep.
I don't know. If you pull 100 jobs, that's a cool $2 million.
Yeah.
I mean, that looks good in my bank account. I don't know about anybody else's.
So how do you go and get that person? So what, like, let's say hail hits, you go into that small town, there's 800 people in there, and you don't know, Joe from Tom to Mary. You don't know anybody. Yeah. You roll in there. How are you going in there and figuring out who that go-to person is?
Really, it depends on the town. One of the last ones we did, I actually drove my Hellcat just to go check out the storm, and had the wife and kids with. And we're cruising around town looking at damage, and I had a couple reps down there too. And I was going to knock on some doors just for fun.
Sure.
But I was looking for that right person. Who's the talker? Who's going to be somebody that's going to want to talk to me? The
town mayor, who may or may not actually be the mayor.
Yeah, right. That guy. So I stumbled on, I was driving down the streets. I stumbled on this house with I want to say 6 to 7 cars out front.
Yeah. Car guy.
Yeah. There was a Corvette and a Camaro all done up.
Yep.
And I stopped, and I'm like, I'm talking to these guys.
Yep.
I showed up in a Hellcat, loud as hell, and started talking to them. They're out drinking beer. I mean, typical small town thing on a weekend, and strike up a conversation. And sure as shit, this guy he's skeptical at first, but then he knew everybody, and he starts, naming names and name dropping everybody and all his neighbors, and the hail hit over here mostly, and man, show me around.
Yep.
So, ironically, there was a park across the street from this house, and I told the wife and kids, why don't you guys go play at the park?
Yeah, I got some work to do.
Yeah. So, got this guy, total stranger to me, except for 10 minutes. I don't recommend anybody do this, but it's northern Wisconsin. People are pretty laid back. But he gets in my car, and we go burning out of there. And he's like, showing me around the town, telling me who I got to talk to, introducing me to people, and we cleaned house on that town. But was it the car? Yeah. Or was it just stopping to talk? Maybe.
It's a couple of things.
Yeah.
A couple of things. There's definitely some key takeaways that we can dive into there. So I think, you're connected with that person, whether it was conscious or subconscious. You guys are both car guys, right?
Yeah.
You got a badass Hellcat. Obviously, it's into cars. But you also are a risk taker. Not in a bad way, okay? You had the ability or the want or the desire to go there and take a risk and basically walk up to a complete stranger and introduce yourself and say, hey, by the way, I'm James and I do.
Yeah.
A lot of people are afraid of that.
Right.
They're afraid to, it's like, man, shit, age myself here. Like back in the day, the college days, you walk into a bar and there's a good looking girl there and you don't have a set of nuts on you to go have the conversation with the girl. Well, that opportunity goes right out the fucking door immediately.
Yeah.
Right. And here's the harsh reality. The longer you wait to have that conversation, the harder it gets because all that self-doubt creeps in and all that
in your head.
Oh, forget it, man. So just go and get it done. Yeah. Right. And it's really not that bad.
What's the worst they can say is no.
No. Or get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Right. I'm sure you've had some fun situations with door knocking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Texas, I'm sure. And, you get a random person that, gun owner, and like,
opens the door with a gun in your face. Yeah.
Like, what the hell are you doing here? Well, hey, you remember that hailstorm that hit? Get the fuck out of here. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
But, some people just don't want to be bothered, but most people are pretty, pretty easygoing in small towns. And what I've noticed too is a lot of people, especially this day and age, they just want to tell you a story. Like they just want to fucking talk to somebody.
Yep.
Nobody talks to anybody anymore.
It's so true.
Like small towns still have, So you can, another thing I like to do is go to the cafe early morning and have coffee.
Mm-hmm.
You will always find either, depending where you're at in the country, I guess, the old farmers, the old timers,
Yep.
sitting there having coffee and shooting the breeze.
Yep.
But
Have a conversation.
yeah,
Start it up.
yeah, buy them coffee. I mean, it's 10 cents a cup. If that,
We ain't talking much money.
yeah,
And what can that 10 cents turn into?
right.
Like, damn.
At any rate, you're going to have some really awesome stories from these guys, probably about, wars that you'll never, read about.
Yeah.
And, you're going to make some really good friends.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you don't do work with them, you're probably going to get the information you need
Yeah.
or that you're looking for
Yeah, for sure.
about the town.
Mm-hmm.
And, if you go into a small town and you think about how can I talk to somebody here? If I'm not from here, how do I talk to somebody?
Mm-hmm.
Man, the same way you would talk to your mom
Mm-hmm.
or your dad. Like, well, maybe not everybody's dad, but
Yep. Respectful.
yeah, you want to just strike up conversation about anything, man.
Yeah.
Like, one of the good things is talk about the weather. I mean, really,
Sure. Small talk is really
Yeah.
what it is,
Yeah, get it started.
Listen, there's some people that don't like small talk at all. And depending upon the environment of the situation, I can go one of two ways with it.
Yeah,
If I'm in a business situation, and granted, I understand like you go into a small town and talk to people, it is for a business end result, but you're breaking that ice. It's an icebreaker. If let's say you and I get on a call and we're supposed to talk for 30 minutes about XYZ topic, do me a favor, cut the bullshit. I don't have time for your fucking small talk. Let's get to work. Because if we can be done with this talk in 15 minutes, I'll be just fine with that.
same.
Yeah. But if you listen, I've said this 1,000 times. Know, like, and trust. Okay. That's the equation to making a sale. Know, like, and trust. In order to build the know, the like, and then the trust, you have to break the ice and have some of those small conversations if necessary.
Right.
So do what's required.
Well, and really, if you are trying to build that know, like, and trust with somebody that already, they don't want to be sold.
Nobody does.
Nobody does,
Yep.
And especially in a small town where, a lot of people don't have money. And if you're, saying you're going to put on a roof, your insurance is going to pay for it. I'm going to make sure they pay for it. Yeah, right. What's the catch? That's the first thing people are thinking. What's the catch? They're already scared. Like,
Yeah. The guard is up already.
yeah. So you really just want to, build that rapport and make them know you're human.
Yeah.
You're not a robot salesman with a sales pitch, although that does work. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Rodney Webb type stuff, great. But if you can relate to somebody,
Yeah, it's better.
you don't have to pitch them.
Yeah.
I
I agree 100% with that, man. I had a lot of success in the car audio industry with that because it was a weird equation, but it worked. Number one, I was a technician at heart. So I understood the product. I understood the installation process way better than any sales rep I ever worked with from a technical aspect. Number three of that equation, I'm counting my fingers here if you can't see.
Yeah.
I was never involved in any business for the money. I was one of the best result for the client. And I also went into a lot of those situations thinking like, well, fuck, I know for a fact that in this Chevy Silverado pickup that 6x9s aren't going to fit in the front door. So when the salesman sells 6x9s to this person because their spiff is higher, and I want to go kick that guy right in the dick because now I got to go cut this guy's door panels and never going to go back the way they were prior. All right, cool. So let's go and speak to this person as a human. Like, hey, man, I don't care what the spiff is on these. This is the product over here that you need, and here's why. Because this is going to be a direct bolt-on to your car. I'm going to take your door panel off. I'm going to bolt this motherfucker in, connect two wires in the back, and you're going to be in and out of here in an hour versus me, pulling out the reciprocating air saw and doing permanent damage to your door.
Having a fiberglass some surrounds it.
We'll do that too, but that's a whole different price point.
Yep.
But being very upfront and honest with people is what built the know, like, and trust, and people wound up coming back to me, not just for, hey, 1, 2, 3 cars, but I started getting clients coming back generationally.
Yeah.
Let me say it again, generationally. I couldn't talk today. There's a lot of talking today, by the way. This is the third one. So, I'd go and I'd start with, Johnny, who just got out of high school, and I'd wind up doing 3, 4, 5 cars for him. And then he winds up getting older and gets married. And before you know it, I got other people from his family coming in. That kind of shit happened over my career, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But you're a human being with those people. Hey, I'm not here. Yes, we're going to make money. We're in business to make money. Okay. But I'm not here with a money first mentality. Right. And I think that's one of the things that allowed me to be as successful as I was in the car audio business, because I wasn't there to go and grab and let me get out of your purse or your pocket and take that money and put it in mine. I want to do the right job for you. I want the quality to be there. I want to sell you not necessarily what you want, but what you need that's going to give you the outcome or end result that you have as well. Yeah. And a lot of guys just weren't doing that. And I'm sure you face the same shit in your industry.
Yeah, all the time. I mean, there's stuff that we're doing that we'd like everybody to do, because then when you try to pioneer something, especially in like a whatever market you're in, and you try and be the pioneer, man, well, that's not how everybody else does it. Mm-hmm. That can't be right.
Yep.
Well, it really is, and here's how it works. And it's like all of our insurance jobs, from hailstorms or any storm damage or whatever, we flip 90% of them to retail contracts, because then basically we don't have to deal with the insurance company.
Got it.
And as soon as we sign that retail contract, and if you're a roofer listening and you don't do this or you're not familiar with it, hit me up, because I'll help you out. Mm-hmm. But the second that you sign that contract as retail, it becomes cost incurred. Mm. And if anybody has an insurance policy and they've read it, more times than not, it says they'll indemnify you for costs incurred.
Gotcha. So now you don't have to go through the insurance company for approval. The person's going to pay the bill, and then be reimbursed from the insurance company.
Yeah, you still want to go through the insurance company for approval,
right?
But it's a huge time saver from going back and forth about pricing, because contractors can't discuss pricing with the insurance company because laws that insurance companies made by paying their lobbyists. But that's a whole nother story. But it's UPPA laws. But you can get the approval, and then you can be the contractor. I mean, be your expertise.
Yeah.
You're the contractor. You're the expert in how, a roof is built or how a building is built, whatever your expertise is. Mm-hmm. You're the expert, not that insurance adjuster that's paid to type stuff into a third-party Xactimate program.
Yep.
You are the expert. Mm-hmm. You are bound by laws and regulations and everything. They're there to pay the bill. Mm. The insurance company sends an adjuster out to see if there's a warrant for a claim, and if it's approved.
Right.
Once it's approved, really, it should be on the contractor of choice to determine what it's going to cost within reason. I mean, there's some contractors that are going to be, trying to scam the stuff, but
sure.
If you're in reason, you got a reasonable price. For us, it works almost all the time. Because we, our business actually sells a majority of retail, to begin with. Storms are like a bonus.
Got it.
So we can say, when we get asked all the time, what are you getting per square? Well, this is what we sell on retail, anywhere from $600 to $700 a square.
Right.
Which you tell that to people in Texas, and they're like, whoa, what? Yeah, that's shingles. But then we're also getting that for insurance, because that's the price we charge on a daily basis. Mm. So when an insurance comes and they, want to give an estimate for, whatever Xactimate comes up to is, $300, 400 a square. Well,
Yeah.
this is our daily price. You know, this is our price. This is
Yep.
what it costs. Sorry, cost of doing business.
Yeah.
You just do it that way.
Yeah, I've seen that in the automotive industry time and time again. I spent a couple of years in auto body shops dealing with insurance there as well. The insurance adjuster would come in and they would, try and basically say, hey, we're only going to pay you for aftermarket parts, not factory, which they never fit the same, by the way, ever. And they cost a lot less money.
Yep.
Or, hey, you know what? I'm not going to approve you to actually repaint the whole side of the car. I want you to blend into the back door.
Yeah.
Man, like this corner cutting. And then on top of that, I don't know what it is now because I've been out of the game a hot minute at this point. But the hourly rate that they were paying the auto body shops for the labor itself was in the fucking trash. It was like $35 an hour.
Right.
Like we're talking a really skilled technician who's got to go in there, multiple skilled technicians who have to go in there from the beginning of the auto body repair process to the end, which is the, painting and then polishing and cleaning the car properly.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work. And they're paying these guys like dog shit wages. That's how it was in New York. This is probably going back 15 years at this point, if not more.
Yeah. I don't think it's changed much. I mean, let's be honest. For real though, insurance companies aren't in the business of giving away their money.
No, that's how they make their money.
Yeah. And, props to them. I guess they found a way, but do I think it's
Right.
morally right?
Mhm.
No.
Yeah.
But hey, I think State Farm, they made last year like $22 billion after paying out all expenses.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
But then they want to dictate how much a contractor can make on a claim. It's like, man, I'm out here doing the work. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're collecting.
Yeah. Counting the money.
Yeah. But I mean, there's bonuses to everything, but
Yep.
yeah, signing stuff as a retail contract is great.
Yeah. Got it. What's next for you and the company and Savannah? Like, what are the plans? What are you guys going to do to expand this thing?
Well, yeah. So we're hoping to move down here by August
Okay.
before the kids start school.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we're going to build out our locations here. So
Mm-hmm.
we've got a location in Plano
Nice.
and Austin also. So looking to build those out.
Yep.
And
You still going to keep Wisconsin operational?
Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Missouri all
Yeah.
operational. Yeah.
Cool. So you got team systems, processes all in place in those locations. It's pretty much turnkey at this point.
Yeah, pretty much. Missouri's still, I don't know, still growing,
Got
still
it.
getting built.
Yeah.
We're kind of being the storm catcher there.
Mm.
'Cause typically Missouri gets a lot of hailstorms, but they didn't last year. So,
Got it.
So we're kind of, just doing a little bit. But yeah, those storms that hit Kentucky, they just missed basically one of our areas in Missouri.
Yeah.
Shucks.
Yeah. Well, you got this year coming up. I'm sure the weather will come.
Yeah.
Yep.
But as soon as it does, I mean, we're already established there. We've been there for a couple of years now. So that's the kind of cool thing about how we expand. We expand in the area first,
Right.
and then if it's got a history of storms, well, great.
Yeah. It'll happen.
Yeah, 5 years, 10-year rotation, whatever it is.
Yep.
But Texas, I mean, they get storms all the time. So we've already, been established here, got our locations and stuff. And now it's more of a, we need to be here to start building it out.
Yeah.
And, be present. And of course we don't enjoy the cold. So, I mean, we fly down here.
Look, listen, that's some fuckery. Okay. Because this week it's fucking cold here. Right now, it's not northern Wisconsin cold, but we're in like, as of this time tomorrow, it's supposed to be like, actually not this time tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, we're supposed to wake up to like 18 or 19 degrees, which that's like a spring afternoon to you.
Yeah, it's nice.
But no, it's still fucking cold, man. Like I moved out of New York to get away from that bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's why we're moving here too. We got a good thing going up there, but if you're not out, if you don't enjoy being out in the cold, there's stuff to do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people don't understand it, but there's ice fishing.
Yep.
You go drill a hole in the ice and you sit. I mean, cool. I don't really appreciate that anymore. I used to when I was younger, but not anymore. There's snowmobiling. That looks fun, and it is fun to do. But when it's just cold out and you don't get the deep snow like they get up in Michigan or Colorado, in the mountains, it's really not that fun either. So yeah, it's a lot of we'd rather be driving our I guess call them sports cars. Yeah, down here all year.
You can do that just about all year down here.
Yeah. And
we drive fast down here too, if you haven't noticed.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
90 miles an hour everywhere.
Yeah, the Dallas North Tollway is like, if you're not doing at least 86 or 87 in the left lane, people are looking at you sideways.
Yeah, I know. Every time we're in the hotel and next to the office here, I hear, I don't know what it is, but it must be the lights or something. People just taking off. I mean, it's a drag strip out there. I'm like, oh man, what was that? Man, that sounded cool. Was that Burton?
Yeah.
I swear I hear him. His cars. But that's our plan. I want to move down here by August, get the kids started in school, and we're gonna keep our house up there.
I was gonna ask that too.
Yeah, we'll Airbnb it.
That's awesome.
It's something like 5,000 square feet, 20 acres out in the woods. It's cool, but it's only cool in the wintertime if you like the wintertime sports.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's cool though because you still have the asset. You Airbnb it. You maybe turn some cash flow on it. You still have a place to go if you want to go back up there and see family and do your thing. I think it's a smart move, honestly.
Yeah, and in the summertime, then when that area is back up and running, it still shuts down in the wintertime. But then we still have a place to go, and ultimately, how it is now, we fly down here once or twice a month. Yeah. Versus, man, that's 12 to 24 times a year that we're on a plane coming to Dallas. Versus if we lived here,
driving.
We could be flying back 6 times. Yeah. Or less.
Less, yeah.
Because that location, or the Wisconsin locations have been running the longest. They run the smoothest. So. Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. One of the key purposes and reasons for my wife and I deciding to make the move, and we really didn't know where we wanted to go. This is years ago. We started talking about it. We knew we wanted to get out of New York. I don't know where. I got a couple ideas. We wound up settling in Texas. Obviously, I'm here. But one of the key reasons was more opportunities, not just for me and my wife Jen, but more so for the kids, because this is. People may want to call bullshit or not, but I'm telling you from my own fucking 2 eyes and the way I see things down here, there was more opportunity down here. There was more abundance thinking down here. This is a very business-friendly area. And if you've got half a brain and you're into business in any way, shape, or form, this is the place to be.
Right. Yeah, and we've noticed that too. And then, our kids are young enough yet where, like, they've talked about, we're going to miss our friends from school. But I mean, come on. It's you're 10 and 12. You'll be fine. You're going to make new friends. Yeah. And you're going to be around people with, a higher sense of mentality of success. Yep. Like you look every direction here and you see success. I mean, pick. Yeah. What do you want to do? I mean, you don't have that in where we're at.
I didn't have it in New York where I was either, and it was there. You can go into your pockets and find it. Yeah. But it was, I could probably count on 2 hands the amount of, let's call it exotic cars that I would see in a summer on Long Island. And granted, there's some fucking money on Long Island. Like, trust me, there is. Yeah. I don't, excuse me. I just choked on my own fucking podcast. Danny, you don't have to edit that. Leave it in. Give everybody a laugh. I I don't think there's a day that passes down here that I don't see some form of a nice car.
Yeah.
And usually it's, a Lambo or a Ferrari ripping past me on the tollway.
Yeah. I think that's huge. I mean, once in a while, you'll see one, in Wisconsin, northern Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, there's a car show that goes on every year in our small town. And there's one guy that he's a cabin owner,
Mm-hmm.
owns a cabin on the lake, but he also lives in Minneapolis or St. Paul or somewhere.
Yep.
And he brings his sports cars over. And for the longest time, he had I didn't make it to the show last year, but he had, what was it? A Viper, Ford GT, and Saline Mustang. And he had some money.
Yeah.
And he let other people drive these cars.
That's cool.
Well, last year, he showed up in a Huracan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what? In tiny Shell Lake, Wisconsin, there's a Lamborghini. Like, I thought I'd be the first one.
Yeah.
But yeah, sure enough, he showed up with a Lamborghini. And I'm like, man, that's like a once in a lifetime thing for a lot of people, seeing that type of car.
See it. Sure.
And yeah, I want my kids to be able to experience that daily.
Yeah. And that's what'll happen down here for sure. Let's talk about cars for a minute.
Yeah, man.
You got some work done to your car, don't you?
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff done to that thing.
Uh-huh. What year is it?
It's a 2015.
Okay. So 2015 Hellcat.
Yeah.
Yep. It's supposed to be 702 horsepower or around there.
Yeah, 707 is what they came with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. And you're pushing what nowadays?
With the nitrous.
Oh, here we go.
with the nitrous at the wheels, 1294.
Yeah. Is it even controllable?
No.
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 I love the honesty.
No. It's controllable if you get traction, but you have to have the right tires. If you got street tires on, forget it.
Yeah.
If you got, drag radials, and I put those on all the time, but even that, you got to do a monster burnout just to get a little bit sticky, and you're not driving on the street with all of it.
Yep.
You still got to pedal it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to do a monster burnout, I mean, it's fun.
How about it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But
what's the next car on the list?
Man. So I almost think I have to buy Savannah another one. She wants a GT4, the Porsche Cayman model. So I bought for our anniversary. I actually bought her a 08 Cayman limited edition, design edition 1, and it's one of 250 in North America. Awesome car. It was like, man, this thing's beautiful. But she's a Porsche girl.
Yep.
So I don't know. I might have to buy her another car first, and then I can get whatever I want. So that was the deal, though. I bought her the car first.
Yeah, and then you went and got yours and dumped all the extra goodies into it.
Yeah. So, I was going to dump some goodies into hers too, and exhaust and stuff too. But she didn't want it. She likes it the way it is. But that was kind of the deal. I bought her the car, as a gift.
Yeah.
Guys, listen to this now. If you want something, buy your wife something first. Then when you buy yourself something, she doesn't really have to, be mad about it. So I bought her a Porsche, and then I bought myself a Hellcat. So
nice. Yeah. You're giving away all the secrets today. You're giving away your sales secrets, how to basically.
I'm all about helping people.
Insert yourself into the small town community and start closing sales.
Yeah.
Yep. How to get the job done with the wife.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome.
I think my next car, though, I was wanting a Lamborghini for a long time.
Yeah.
But I like performance. And looking at, the Corvettes, hands down, I think they got, some performance coming out. The ZR1, I was talking to a couple guys. Well, I was talking to Scott Simons, and couple other guys about it, and it's slated to come out in spring of 23. But if it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I want to get on the pre-order for that. Because the tests show it stomps the hell out of a Huracan.
Yeah, I believe it.
So I don't know. Maybe I'll order that, and in the meantime, I'll probably have to buy another one or something.
That's it.
Or I buy her the GT4, and then I order the Corvette.
You have to pull a Stuman.
Yeah.
So he ordered that STO that he just got, and he was like, well, shit, I got to wait a year for the car, so let me go buy another one in the interim. And he did.
Yeah. And then made money on it.
Made money on it. Oh, my Lord.
Yeah. That's awesome.
He knows the game.
Yeah. But the difference between like that, him and I, like, and even like John Paramore, I talked to him about it too, and he's always making money on cars, but I can't let him go. I'm like,
fall in love with him.
Yeah. I'm a collector. You know?
Yeah.
Like, oh man, I like that car. Well, I could probably sell it right now and make some really good money on it. Yeah, but it looks nice sitting there. Even if I drive a different one, Yeah. So it's hard for me to, do what Stuman does. I think.
Yeah.
I think about it daily though.
Yeah,
like, man.
Listen, so I've watched him and John and guys like Burton like turn some serious coin.
Yeah.
Because they know that exotic car game well.
Yeah.
And it's also the opportunities that get opened up to you because of showing the world that, hey, I'm in the club. I own one of these.
Right.
It opens up those other doors that sometimes wouldn't be open.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't have the car.
Yeah, and I think honestly, what they do, I mean, it makes sense. They're driving a new exotic every month, every 3 months, whatever it is. I mean, I could maybe get into that.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, who couldn't really?
Here's the and this is probably small-minded thinking on my part. Just saying, the part that gets me, and I mean, this is probably my integrated brain too. I've always been the kind of dude like, hey man, if I'm gonna go do the work, or build something, when I'm done fucking building it, I don't want to touch it again.
Yeah.
So I kind of look at buying a car like that too. I want to go buy the car, go through the process, get the car, and now a month later I got to sell this thing and go through the process all over again. Like, oh Lord.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's kind of where I'm at too. Like, man, I put so much time and effort and money into the Hellcat just to get it, up to modest horsepower.
Modest. This fucking guy said modest.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's some high horsepower cars running the street, especially down here in Texas.
Yeah.
I know a couple guys that run Texas 2K with 4,000 horsepower cars. Nuts.
Yep, it is.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to get into the exotic car game like Stuman's got, I guess.
Yep, it's a possibility.
Yeah.
He's laid out the plan. You got a card with you here. What you got?
Yeah, man, that's our core values card.
So
I sent you a screenshot.
you did Renew Roofing. It's more like a credit card, so it's durable. It's not gonna, go through the wash and not come out. And you got 5 core values listed here for the company. I'm gonna read them.
Right on.
Be passionate in all you do. Commit to excellence in everything. Be honest, open, and transparent. Work as a team and take full responsibility for your actions. All right. So the first question here is: are these in order of importance?
No.
Okay.
They're just numbered.
What's the most important one on this list to you?
To me, I guess. Well, it's tough to say because today I was actually ran into a situation where being open and honest
Hurt you?
Yeah. Somebody in the company wasn't being open and honest, and I'm like, man, do we just let them go?
Yeah.
And then it's like, it is what it is. But yeah, take responsibility, I think, is the biggest one for me. And then behind that would be work as a team. Because if you don't have, if you're not responsible and you can't take responsibility for your own actions, if you screw up, it's going to affect the rest of the team.
Yeah.
So without, being able to take responsibility, and then without the team, really what is there?
Mm-hmm.
We're back to my wife and I.
Yep.
You know, that's it.
Yep.
That's the company then.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think if you, like you said in your book, you know, you hire and fire on your core values, man, that's a game changer. Like I just sent you that screenshot. We hired Jenna,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, shoot, she already joined Apex and everything. I mean, she's awesome. But the way that she posted about the company and literally about this core values card, that was proof that what you put in your book is exactly what every business needs.
Mm-hmm.
So, and yeah, the card was definitely Savannah's idea.
Mm-hmm.
And it's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
But we give these to everybody so they can keep them in their wallet or whatever. And they always have them with them.
Makes sense. I love it, man. Well, I appreciate having you in here today, sir.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. What's the best place people can reach out and learn more about you? And if they want a damn roof, connect with you.
Yeah. So our website is renewallroofs.com. And I mean, look me up on Facebook is the easiest way.
Mm-hmm.
Hit me up.
Cool.
So.
At James Emerson, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what my
just hit the search bar.
Yeah,
at the
search
top of
search me.
The Book of Faces.
Yeah.
I
mean, I'm a little bit on Instagram too.
Yep.
At it's James Roof Boss, but I use Facebook more.
Yeah.
I'm not really a techie guy.
Mm-hmm.
I know I should be, more into social media, but I like cars too much.
Hey, I get it. I get it.
Spend some time on the car or something. I don't know. I like all sorts of different stuff too. Not just cars. I like big trucks too.
Well, we got those down here. You'll fit right in the beautiful state of Texas, sir.
Hell yeah.
All right, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Appreciate you, man.